All right. Stop the date. All rise. Pledge of allegiance.
And to the America, and to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is TJ on?
I don't think so.
Without TJ. So TJ Hecox, who is our normal board chair, is absent tonight, but 2.0 role of board members, Elise?
Mike Walmer,
Here.
Patty Drew.
Here.
Ryan Dietrich.
Here.
And Jan Sommer.
Here.
And TJ Cox is not present.
3.0 oath of board officers and board chair and vice chair appointments. 3.1 oath of office for Jan Sommer. Come on up.
Okay.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, that way she.
Oh, okay. Perfect. That's super. Well,
All right. I, Jan Songer, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution and the laws of the state of Oregon, and the policies of Jewel School District 8. During my term, I will faithfully and impartially discharge the responsibilities of the office to the best of my ability.
good. So,
This one?
okay.
There we go. Sign that one.
I mean, TJ said he's trying to get on, but he said he's the only one.
I, Mike Womack, do solemnly swear that I support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution and the laws of the state of Oregon, and the policies of Jewel School District No. 8. During my term, I will faithfully and impartially discharge the responsibility of the office to the best of my abilities.
Right here. Table. TJ's.
I just sent him the link, so.
You message him at all? Did you message him?
Yeah, I got
This will be mine. I don't have one for Patty. Okay.
You and I are
Okay.
together.
Okay. I, Ryan Dietrich, do solemnly swear to support the laws of the United States and of the state of Oregon and faithfully discharge any duties which shall become my responsibility as vice chair of the Jewel School District Board, dated this first day of July 2025.
We're gonna just go open for nominations to appoint the board chair and the board vice chair.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Oh, okay. Oh, well.
You're behind.
We already did the vice chair, we've already done it.
So yeah, open nominations and appointments for 3.4.
TJ just popped in.
He did?
Yeah, I have it here. Online.
Are there any nominations?
Do you want to give him the oath
Oh.
first for his, since he got elected to the school board, since
Yep.
he's on there?
Can you hear me okay?
Oh, he doesn't have the paper.
Yeah.
So I have to repeat your big.
So, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, so, we're doing the oath of office for the board chair, so just
No, no,
repeat
no,
after
not
me.
board chair.
Yeah. No, just the board, just the board.
Just the board.
Board.
Just board.
Oh, okay. So I would still have him repeat.
Yeah.
all of it. Yeah. So TJ, if you can hear me okay, just repeat after me.
Go ahead.
I, TJ Hecox,
I, TJ Hecox,
do solemnly swear to support the laws of the United States and the state of Oregon,
do solemnly swear to support the laws of the United States and the state of Oregon,
and faithfully discharge any duties
and faithfully discharge any duties
which shall become my responsibility
which shall become my responsibility
as chair of the Jewel School District Board.
No, just office,
Oh,
for the office.
as a board member at Jewel School.
Yeah.
Same one.
oh, okay. All right, yeah,
It's the same one that.
okay.
So it'd be the same one. Val, yep.
It's over again. I hope not. Do we?
No, just for, no,
Boy, I'm so confused right now.
The same
We're
thing.
starting over, so there's no
Okay.
chair.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So he would just,
Yeah, you just say, TJ Hecox, so yeah.
okay, all right, TJ, that was a practice run.
Okay.
Okay, so I, TJ,
I, TJ Hecox,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution and the laws of the state of Oregon,
Constitution and the laws of the state of Oregon,
and the policies of Jewel School District 8.
and the policies of Jewel School District 8.
During my term, I will faithfully and impartially discharge
During my term, I will faithfully and impartially discharge
any responsibilities of the office to the best of my ability.
any responsibilities to the office to the best of my ability.
Okay.
Always the same.
Sorry, I was a little late. I was on the wrong link, I think.
Okay, so now we can move to 3.4. Okay, so open nominations and appointments.
I nominate TJ Hecox for board chair.
I'll second the nomination.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second for appointing board chair TJ Hecox. Say aye. Aye.
I guess I.
All opposed? The motion passes to appoint TJ as. Yeah. Appointing a board chair, is there any nominations for appointing a board vice chair?
I nominate Ryan Dietrich as board vice.
The nomination.
There is a motion and a second to appoint Ryan Dietrich as board vice chair. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed? Motion passes. Appoint Ryan Dietrich as the board vice chair. All right, takes us to 4.0, board
That's
approval.
great.
Somebody's gotta swim.
Oh, shoot.
Somebody.
Oh, we're sailing right through this. Okay. And that would be free to that. Okay. Okay. I, Ryan Dietrich, do solemnly swear to support the laws of the United States and the state of Oregon and faithfully discharge any duties which shall become my responsibility as vice chair of the Jewel School District Board. All right, board approval and or changes to the consent agenda.
I think Paige is swearing.
Or her, the chair, so. But it should be one for the chair.
Oh,
I can't.
You did that
Who-
already. By
who did?
accident.
okay. Well, he did that.
Do you want to swear me in person next meeting? Does it matter? Or does it?
I think we should probably just do it, or we just did it a moment ago.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so, and that's the right one for TJ, right?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Are you with me, TJ?
Yep, I hope so.
Okay, here we go. I, TJ Hecox,
I, TJ Hecox,
do solemnly swear to support the laws of the United States
do solemnly swear to support the laws of the United States
and the state of Oregon,
and the state of Oregon,
and faithfully discharge any duties
and faithfully discharge any duties
which shall become my responsibility
shall become my responsibility
as chair of the Jewel School District Board.
as chair of the Jewel School District Board.
Wow, that was clunky. Okay. Takes us to 4.0, board approval and or changes to the consent agenda. We're going to omit 4.3, the OSEA contract.
I was gonna say, that'll stay there. Just I know it's a little confusing on the agenda here. The OCA union is going to be voting tomorrow to ratify the contract. And so I was checking with our legal and whatnot, so the board can still approve through the consent agenda their contract. And then if they approve it tomorrow, then it's done. But if they, for whatever reason, choose not to approve it, then I've got to come back to the board and let you know that they did not. But it doesn't matter the order,
We're gonna keep.
so we can keep it on there. Yeah.
So then we will add OSEA contract 2025 to 2027 to the 13.3 items for next or future meeting in August.
And that will only be if it's not ratified.
Yeah.
So otherwise, if they ratify it tomorrow, that will not be on there.
And then we will add 9.2 gap insurance as a report and action item. We just need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make motion to approve the consent agenda as stated.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as stated. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? This takes us to 5.0, Nehalem Valley Livestock and Archery, Julie Kano.
I need to turn this on. So for anyone who doesn't know me, my name is Heather McBain. I'm a teacher here at Jewel School, and I'm also one of our 4-H leaders. Our 4-H club has done a lot of things this year, and they wanted to come and talk to you guys about what they've done and what they're looking forward to.
Hi, thank you for letting us come. I'm Julie Cano, and I am one of the leaders at Nehalem Valley Livestock. We currently have 12 members of the regular 4-H. We have 9 members of the Clover Bud, which is kindergarten through 3rd grade. We have, I think, 9 total leaders right now between the 2 clubs, and 1 more with our new archery club. And I wanted to say thank you guys very much for letting us have it in the barn. It's been tremendous. We're taking 5 kids in archery to fair this year. And they've improved a lot. And we thank RJ Six Toes Appleby for being our coach and leader for that. This year we have done tons of learning how to cook. We have learning how to select livestock. We have learned all about Carrie's water bottle that had lots and lots of germs in it. Last year, we had the cooking contest here at Jewel for the whole county, and that was an amazing because all of the time Jewel has to drive to everything else, and you guys allowed that to happen here. So that was a huge thank you. Last year, we had 1 person from our club attend. This year, we had 6. And every single one of them either got a blue or grand champion or a division championship in those categories. It was phenomenal to see us have home court advantage and take advantage of it. We have had a couple of our members, or one of our members who has participated in shotgun and rifle and has gone to state and did very well in that. And we have another member, same member, who participated in a speech competition and got grand champion in that also, and district champion for that. And he is going on to the state champ for that also. So we have grown tremendously. I'm going to brag on the kids that participated in the cooking contest. Let me get behind me for a minute. She walked in with a carton of eggs the week before and says, "You're going to teach me how to cook an egg so I can go to the contest." And she did phenomenal. And just the kids, the confidence the week before to the actual competition, to get up and bring everything that they own out of their kitchen and walk in and present it to a judge and people there, and then the judge critiques everything you do and tastes it. So these kids have had to overcome a lot to get there, and they did fantastic. And their confidence level from the beginning to the end was soaring. So again, thank you for letting us use the culinary room and the skills that they're learning in that. We did a lot of activities with the Clover Buds to the regular 4-H members so that they could see, learn by doing and see what the older kids are doing and want to emulate that also. And that is our motto, is learn by doing. And we feel that is very, very, very important. You know, we can do it for you, but the only way you're going to do it is by learning. And I have a whole bunch of members here that are going to speak to you and tell you what they're going to be doing.
My name is Taz Kano. I am the president of the Nahoma Valley Livestock Club. I'm also the president of the Clatsop Playbusters 4-H Club. And this is my 8th year in 4-H. I'll be showing at fair a steer, a pig, and a lamb. And I have shown everything from poultry to horses. I've been showed a guinea pig. I will be participating at state competition for speeches. And I have been doing state comp for speeches for the last 3 years. I want to thank you all for allowing us to meet here, keep our equipment here, our scales, everything with no charge. We really appreciate that. It's a huge, give us a big leg to be able to keep it at one spot. So thank you.
My name's Rita Appleby. This is my 2nd year of 4-H. This year I'm showing a steer and a lamb and a pack goat. And last year I showed 2 goats. And I want to say thank you for letting us use the barn and so we could learn how to show sheep, to shoot archery, and just want to thank you again for letting us use it. And in addition to showing my steer and my lamb, can I give you my bio letter?
I remember you from last year also.
Me too.
I was gonna say the same thing. I remember the pack goat.
Right.
So way to stick with it. Good job.
Yeah, remember that.
How about that, everybody? Perfect. That'll be super.
Hello, my name is Caroline Clark. I'm 14 years old and I'm an incoming sophomore here at Blue School. This is my second year at 4-H. Today I would like to tell you about our club, Nahanna Valley Livestock, what I have done this year and what my future goals are. This year I started a pig project for the first time and have learned so much about raising and handling them. I'm also raising chickens and a turkey. At fair this year, I also plan to have artwork and crochet items on display. During the skills competition held at the school for a few weeks ago, I made a dish called Mother and Daughter. During the competition, I won a blue ribbon and a reserve champion for my dish. And I got grand champion for measuring. All 6 of us who took part in the competition did really well during fair this year. I will be showing my pig and chickens for the first time, and I will be showing a turkey for the second year in a row. I also will be taking part in archery competition. Some of the things I have learned this year include raising and showing both small animals and large animals, flower arranging, table setting, cooking, knot tying, archery, and so much more. Next year, I'm thinking about possibly showing a turkey, pig, chicken, goat, or even a sheep. I would love to continue doing more cooking, doing more art things like crochet or even welding. I would also like to maybe even try something new like welding or learning new techniques and skills for cooking. My future goals are possibly becoming a criminal defense lawyer and going to a higher educational school at a university somewhere, which I'm not sure where yet, but soon. I am also wanting to be a student athlete wherever I go next, as well as being in a band or symphony. We are all very thankful for Jewel School for allowing us to have our meetings here and for hosting our county skills competition. Thank you for taking time to hear about my 4-H experience in our club. I hope to see you out there.
My name is Ruby Sperling. I am 12 years old. This is my second year in 4-H. Last year, I showed my chicken Penny at fair for showing only. I won a blue ribbon on that. This year, I am going to be showing a chicken and a meat turkey for market. I also participated in the cooking contest that was hosted here. I got a blue ribbon and a grand champion for that. I would like to thank all of you for allowing us to use this school to host our meetings and other 4-H activities. Fair and just the whole 4-H program has taught me a lot of things since I pretty much live on a farm. I have a bunch of animals at home to take care of, and this program has been a huge help on learning like what kind of nutrition they need. Also, just the summer break, it's pretty long time without seeing a lot of my classmates, and a lot of them also participate in fair, so I like to be able to see them even at summer break, so which is pretty helpful. Like helps build our bonds stronger since we've been in the same class for such a long time. So yeah. Thank you.
What did you cook that you got grand champion at?
Me and Evie, she was my partner. It was a group partner project. We made a avocado wrap, like a breakfast item, which was my first time making it. That same competition actually taught me how to cook things on stove. So now I can make stuff at home for myself.
Good.
Yes.
Sounds good.
Thank you for, again, allowing us to post everything we needed to here.
Thanks for coming up.
Hello, my name is Lillian and I am 12 years old. This is my first year in 4-H. Today I am going to talk to you about our club, the Halo Valley Livestock, what I have done so far this year and what my goals are. This year I took part in the skills competition that was held here in the school, where I made tacos and presented them to the judges. I won a blue ribbon and a Grand Champion Reserve ribbon. I have learned a lot about how to handle rabbits and how to show them. At home, I am also working on learning more about chickens and goats. I've tried archery in the barn. I had a lot of fun helping out with the Nehalem Valley Pioneer barbecue and showing my rabbit and my goat at the petting zoo our club put on. During the Sauk County Fair this year, I will have a painting and educational board, table setting, flower arranging, and showing my rabbit. Next year, I'm thinking about showing a chicken, my goat, my rabbit, more art, the cooking competition, and maybe even giving a speech. My future goals include exploring art school and considering teaching. I am hopeful to be successful in whatever my future holds. Myself and our club are very thankful for Jewel School for allowing us to have our meetings here and for hosting the county skills competition. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me talk about my 4-H experience in our club, the Nehalem Valley Livestock. I hope to see you at the fair.
All right, we have another person that participated in the skills contest, and her speech is a little different. She's going to offer you guys the cookies. Not that she made it the competition. She made them today, but the cookies that she made at the competition. And I just wanted to ask if you had any questions for us, or if you have any things that you want to know about us.
The animals that the kids are going to show at fair, are they at their homes or are they here at the barn?
They are all, we do not have any at the barn this year. They are all at their homes.
Okay.
But we do appreciate the ability to have that if we had kids that could not house them.
Sure.
So thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
Anything else or anything you want to ask? They're the stars.
How many animals are going to fair?
Total for the whole county?
No, just us.
Okay, so we have 2 beef, 2 steer, 3 pigs, turkey, 6 turkeys maybe?
That's quite a few.
And 2 sheep, and 2 goats, chickens, I'm not sure how many, 2 rabbits, 3 chickens, and a pen of rabbits also. One kid is probably taking 12 different rabbits.
Oh my goodness.
So
That
they'll
will be well represented.
yes.
Okay.
There is usually about 106 to 120 swine that go through that are for market. There's a whole bunch more that people have for breeders and show and everything else. And then there's usually anywhere from 26 to 40 steers. Sheep is usually about 80. And goats are pretty much the same. And last year for turkeys, I think we had 67 turkeys now. And there's a pen of chickens that you can buy, roasters and things like that. But yes, we would love everybody to come out and sponsor or show or scream and yell support for the kids. I'm a huge component that they need to hear your voice. So anything else you would like to?
Looking at archery, so I'm just, I know you and I talked about that a while ago, but just anyone who's just imagining, what is it their skills are like through archery?
Well, a lot of great competition. They have learned all about the bows and string light. Do you want to talk about that? What you learned in archery this year? Yeah.
This year I've learned just how, like, more ways of how to shoot a bow, how to properly hold one, how to string it and unstring it, and how to have anchor points, like when you draw back, and just kind of stuff like that. Just more about bows.
What kind of bow are you using?
I'm using a compound bow.
And there's also gonna be, archery is gonna be, I think, Monday and Tuesday, at the end of this month, the last week.
Second Wednesday is the,
And it's gonna be in the far back of the fairgrounds. And they have a competition also, it's called Clout, and it's like shooting into a castle. And so, they have to do that, and they have moving animal targets. And they have 3D, there's 3D shoots, the Iron Bear. Steer Bear, can you tell me about that?
Steel Bear is a cardboard harness, so actual steel bear, metal bear. And the actual metal bear is a metal bear that if you hit it, you lose an arrow because it's actual steel. If you go through the middle, you don't lose your arrows. With this one's cardboard, so you don't break $10, $15, $20 arrows. But it's 10 points if you hit, minus 10 points if you hit the bear, and it's 5 points if you get it in there.
Okay. And so if there's also sportsmanship competition, the day of archery shoot, so they don't just look at how the person shoots and their score. They want to know what their sportsmanship is, if they look the judge in the eye, if they help other people, if they shake the judge's hands at the end. And if I have taught these kids that their attitude is everything, that they can be having a bad day, their animal may not dance well with them, but they need to act like it's still $1 billion animal once they walk in there, or when they shoot wrong or miss, they don't, the judges are watching that. And I had a kid in my club, I wasn't the head leader at that time, but she had a very well-trained goat. And the judge made the kids switch goats, so they got other people's goats, and they do that quite often in a fair. And this person got a goat that laid down and stuck out its tongue and didn't move. And so her goat was very well trained, and the judge saw her get flustered, and she was in the grand champion spot, but when she got flustered, she got way knocked in. So we want to teach them how to keep their cool under hard situations. And they are also, last year, I'm going to brag on that for that too. They were the kids that when the show was over and the judge was talking to other kids, they waited in the ring and shook the judge's hands, every single one of them, and they represented well. So, and that is very important to me. And that they look, and if they got a white ribbon, they still walk out and shake that judge's hand, and they rejoice over that because they're learning. So, anything else?
Who made the cookies? Well, if I had a ribbon to hand out.
I just
Did a great job.
And I just wanted to also, I know you said the kids are the star of the show, which is true, but also work with the nonprofits that I work with also. I want to recognize also the adults and how collaborative this looks and how collaborative it really is behind the scenes. And you can tell just by the looks of how the kids hold themselves and present themselves, the same thing with the adults as well. So this is awesome to see.
Well, and these kids, I am so proud of them for getting up here because at the beginning of all of our meetings, I try to make them do a little tiny public speaking, and for them to come and be prepared is phenomenal.
Very, very much so.
It shows.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. 6.0 public comment. That was quite the public comment. 7.0 financial report.
None at this time.
You guys gonna hang out for the rest of the meeting, or are you guys?
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
I know, there's a lot to go through.
Okay, Christmas and cheese.
Okay. All right, so 8.0 old business. 8.1 program of study, ag program update.
All right, so I'll keep this brief. I know we chatted last board meeting also about the progress we're making towards agricultural program and getting that submitted to the state of Oregon so we can move forward with building an ag program to the district. So the advisory committee met in this very room on Monday, June 23rd to finalize the application process. Necessarily not through the whole advisory team this year, but we have 7 individuals on the advisory team. And we all came together with our CT coordinator of that program, Mary Jackson from the Clatts Community College. And we put together our application and some visionary work for the future of the program based off of the agenda, which dealt with our year 1 course offerings and then the advisory committee commitment. And then we talked about the next steps. So that has been submitted to the state ODE, waiting approval. And they are contact Mary Jackson does not feel there's going to be any hiccups with that approval from the state of Oregon. And she said we could go ahead and go forth and provide a vacancy notice for a teaching position for that agriculture position. So as of last Friday afternoon, this was completed and now it's up and into the papers and also up on our website, pending applications. And as those applications come in, they will be also referenced over to the advisory committee who needs to look at those and make sure that the individuals who are applying have what is required by CT standards to be applying for this position. And then they give the recommendations to go forth to the district, go ahead and make those interviews. And that's how the program of study process works. So that is the next step. I will be on vacation beginning late on the 12th of July, and this I have set it to be closed on the 18th. So therefore, even when I'm away, I can release forward information over to the advisory committee so they can look at the applicants through the week that I'm gone. And when I'm back on the 26th, then we're going to be doing some interviews within about a week after that. So we can make it hopefully a hiring by the very beginning of August for that. So.
All right, 9.0 new business. 9.1 annual designations. Designations, authorizations, and appointments for the Jewel School District number 8 for the 2025-2026.
That should be 25-26.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I just said, I'm
It does
sorry.
say that.
Yeah.
I have an old copy then because it says 24-25. Okay, you got the right one.
Right.
Okay.
So do we read all these individually or read them down the
Just
line?
read down the line.
Okay,
You the lucky one.
Patty.
Okay. I'll make motion to recommend the following appointments for Jewel School District. Chief Administrative Officer and District Clerk, ORS 332.151, to be Superintendent Corey Peterson, shall be the Chief Administrative Officer and Clerk of the Board of Directors with designated powers as stated in board policy, including administration of all local, state, and federal funds and programs. Budget Officer, ORS 294.331, Superintendent Corey Peterson shall be the Budget Officer. Deputy Clerk, Business Manager Tammy Swearingen shall be Deputy Clerk. Authority to invest funds, ORS 294.810, 294.815. Authority to invest funds is given to the superintendent, Corey Peterson, and his designee in accordance with district policy. Custodian of funds, ORS 328.441, 328.445. Superintendent Corey Peterson and Principal Samuel White are authorized to sign checks. Authorized facsimile are approved for the superintendent and designee. Depository of funds, ORS 328.441, 294.805 to 294.895. U.S. Bank, Oregon, Wells Fargo Bank, and Oregon Local Government Investment Pool, LGIP, shall serve as depository of funds. Auditor, ORS 297,405, 327, 137, 328.465. Clear Trail CPAs will be serving as the district's audit firm and shall continue in that capacity through 2026. Insurance agent of record, Brown & Brown Insurance shall serve as agent of record for property and casualty insurance through 2025 through 2026 fiscal year. Designate attorney, Miller Nash LLP, will serve as the district's general legal counsel for all matters through 2026. If due to a reason of specialty, the superintendent chooses to use another attorney for a particular issue, the superintendent will notify the board as soon as possible. Official publication of legal notices. The Astorian will serve as the district's official publisher of legal notices with the Oregonian as an alternate. Breakfast and lunch prices for students. Breakfast at Jewel School, no charge, community eligibility program. Lunches at Jewel School, no charge, community eligibility program. Breakfast and lunch prices for adults. Breakfast $3, lunch $5. District-owned property monthly rentals. 83794 Highway 103, $605. 43795 Meadow Lane, number 101, $605. 43795 Meadow Lane, number 3, $605. 43837 Meadow Lane, $605. 43753 Meadow Lane, $1,210. 83792 Highway 103, $605. 43795 Meadow Lane, number 2, $605. 43795 Meadow Lane, number 104, $605. And 43839 Meadow Lane, $605. District travel out of district meal allowances, breakfast $12, lunch $15, dinner $20.
Good job.
All right.
Somebody better second that, because I'm not reading it again.
Because you made that your motion. Okay.
Yes.
I'll second the motion to accept the appointments as noted.
All right.
So on discussion though, here in your rental, monthly rentals, does that set us up with the outside agency?
Is this, say it one more time, so I'm
So we're looking at having a rental company or property management.
that's,
How's that gonna affect with this?
that will have to have some play into it.
So we'll have to adjust this
We'll
later.
have to make some adjustments.
We can make adjustments later on. Okay.
I have the same question when we were going through that. So there's been a motion and a second to adopt
The appointments.
the designations, authorizations, and appointments for the Jewel School District 8 for the 2025 and 2026 school year. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Brings us to 9.2, the gap insurance.
Right, so I know I chatted with the board regarding PACE, costs are going up, was 18%, that you said? So across Oregon, rates are going up for PACE coverage insurance. With the number of SAM claims going across the country, specifically with PACE, the state of Oregon and school districts, PACE, since I'm aware of, since they've been doing this, they're now pulling off the general coverage, which included PACE coverage, the SAM coverage, which was encompassed amongst all of the liability portions of it, that $20 million. They now have taken that portion and pulled it out of the general coverage, and now you have to apply for the SAM coverage separate from the rest of the insurance. So they take a look at all districts' previous histories. They take a look at our documents and basically our mission statement and what we've done and what we are doing and going to continue to do for every district. And then once you apply for that, you are selected to either do the 2, the 5, or the 10, or none if they just determine none. And so that termination would come back at 2, but it wasn't 2.5, it was at 2, am I correct?
2, they thought they could get it to 2.5.
Okay, so I think they're working for the 2.5, but it is guaranteed that's a 2. And so I talked to the board about potential gap coverage insurance. And so that has been conversations we've been having with our agents here at Brown & Brown also. And so they did, as of today, get that information to us. And so the coverage is a challenge to find. And so according to our reps from Brown & Brown, overseas is where they're going to find this kind of gap coverage insurance. And so only one organization got back to them. And so the coverage is expensive. It was for about $1.8 million at the cost of $180,000 and $2 million, or excuse me, $10 million. No, sorry, let me get this right. What did I just? $10 million, excuse me, at $200,000. And so if the board determines that we want to move forward with one of those, if we did the 8, that would bring the district up to about 10, maybe 10.5 coverage between PACE and the gap insurance. I want to make very clear also that anything prior to today's date, July 1st, 2025, and then prior any incidences, claims or anything that come from anything that happened prior to this date will fall back on our previous insurance with PACE, which is the $20 million that we have. I know a question did come forth also about how much have we utilized out of what we have so far. And I will say with current claims that we have in the district's past, potentially coming forward, I still believe we're going to have enough to cover anything in our previous time from now, excuse me, from yesterday backwards. So anything from today forward, anything that were to take place for claims, the district currently has $2 million that we can say for sure liability for any SAM claims. If we want to protect the district beyond that, that would be the gap insurance. I just was representing clear.
Is that per incident or is that
Yeah,
total?
that's per
Total.
So
Total per year,
Total for the year,
$2 million total.
total.
so if we had 10 incidences at,
$1 million, that's $10 million.
That is the district's,
We'd be,
yes.
98
bankrupt.
And there's, as expressed with our company, there's other districts for sure out there panicking.
So we bumped it to 10 million. Is that still per incident?
It's 10 million for the year.
With an extra 200,000.
For, if you spent $200,000, actually, you would have 10.2, no, you'd have 12 million, excuse me.
Would you have 12 million?
What is that?
Usually gap insurance doesn't give you that.
Well, PACE gives,
Express takes
PACE
8 million, tell you the truth.
I mean, if the board did the 8, yes.
If you did the 10, technically you have 2 already. You're only gonna get 8 million more, total of 10.
Totally, yeah, if you do that, you'd have to, I mean, the board would have to choose the $8 million option.
Then you'd only get, well, you'd be
For
8,
180,000.
180,000 on top of the 18% it's already going up. Plus 180,000, it gives you 8 million total. The gap's only for 6.
I'm not following that, no.
So, I mean,
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
it's, so for our general liability being covered at 6 million, it's $184,000 for general liability. So they've taken the SAM out. So we have $2 million worth of coverage. We can buy the gap insurance for $180,558, I think. That would bring us to another That would give us an additional 8 million to bring us to 10 million there for the SAM coverage. We could also choose the $200,000 option, which would give us 10 million additional in coverage. So that would bring us to 12 million for the SAM, just for the SAM.
And the general liability has been reduced also from 37. We're down to 6 for general.
Usually when they say 10, it's 10. So it's really 6 million versus the 8 million with your 2 already you have. So you have 2 plus 8 gives you.
So we have 2 already, and we can purchase 8 more. So that gives us 10.
That's, I understand what you're saying, but usually I haven't seen gap work like that, so that's why I'm questioning it. Because usually gap works, your 8 million, your gap total, and you already have 2, so you're only buying 6
Oh.
to a max of 8. That's how all my insurance works. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, for our discussion.
It'd be great if it was 10 at the end, but
Our discussion, the way he's explained it, it would be the full amount that we're literally grading for, which is the 8 added on top of
Yes.
what we have. That's how it's been explained the whole time.
Because I think the 6 is just the general liability, and they've separated out the SAM. So this is purely SAM coverage, the 2 plus 8, just for SAM. The 6 is still out there for PACE. Right.
The 6 is just for general liability, not SAM.
Oh,
Is that all?
okay.
6 general for PACE, 2 SAM for PACE.
Right.
I have a question real quick. Can you hear me okay?
yeah.
Do we have a general idea on the last 10, 15, or 20 years with the district on how much we've had to pay out on average per year? Or does Brown & Brown, do they give us like a risk assessment to show us what we should be at based on the past years, what we would be paying? I mean, it seems like an awful lot of money to me to pay. Of course, you say that, and then as soon as we get sued over it, it's not. So, but I just would like to know where we were, I guess. I know we have to make a decision quickly on this, but where we'd be in the district if we had the PACE 2.5 million like we're at now at July 1. If we had that coverage in the past, 10 years, what would we be paying over top of that?
That's a good question. I mean, that's a question we can ask for sure. My thought process also, as you said, if something were to take place and a claim were to come to the district for the amount of $4 million or $5 million and that prevailed.
Right.
That's a chunk of the district.
So without it now after July 1, if I got this correct, PACE pays up to 2.5 million and the rest is on the district. So, and that's across the state. I can't fathom how the rest of these school districts in the state of Oregon are going to survive a couple lawsuits when they're barely hanging by a thread. So I feel like they're going to have to work out something, and having to go to overseas, to have to go to a security gap coverage in London to provide this insurance just seems. And we have till Friday to make this decision. Is that correct?
I chatted with him about it a little less than 2 hours ago. And with it being a holiday weekend, they can push back a little bit until next week.
Wow. I'd like to really know what we'd be spending, I guess, if we were based off that 2.5 for the last 10, 15, 20 years, whatever gap we can go back to relatively to see. Maybe we haven't been over that.
We could.
Yeah, we can ask.
We could show that.
Yeah.
In the,
Yeah, we can work on that tomorrow.
I mean, if we haven't been over that dollar amount for a period of time, and I feel like the state's gonna have to figure out some sort of a better option for these school districts really quick when they realize that they can't sustain that, right? I hate to roll the dice on it a little bit, but at the same time, I feel like they have to come up with a better option than after $2.5 million, these districts are just gonna shut the doors.
And that's also the issue that PACE is counteracting it, also saying that they're also concerned about their fiscal future as well, because there's so many claims going out there that they've never had to spend so much money on out of their coffers as well. And so that's why they put the board down here.
Well,
I thought there was a cap on some of the stuff with government agencies. I know with say for ODOT, for example, they can only get sued to a certain amount of money, and that's it. So it's kind of, there's kind of a cap. I would think that would have to follow with districts at some point. Otherwise, they're just gonna be a target forever.
One of the concerns also from discussions I've been having with other people is there's a legitimate concerns, but also the fake concerns out there that may come at districts where there's being accusations and things that are being accused of, and then having districts having to spend legal money to defend something that may not have taken place.
And Ryan, this is Jan. I'm just thinking that we're kind of I think we're kind of in a vulnerable position at the moment. And yeah, it's a big expense we didn't plan on, but if there is a future amendment that would improve our situation, we could renegotiate at renewal or cancel or something like that. But I think the current condition, the information we have to go on, the stark truth is that we're just at risk right now.
Yeah,
And-
I mean, I understand that.
And just because I want to express this in a public session also, because I've been in the chair now, this is wrapping up my third year. Actually, today starts year 4. And part of it is also making efforts moving forward, asking questions about, will PACE open up the coffers a little bit more as we continue to show that we've made improvements and whatnot throughout the years. And can't say for sure that would happen, but that would be the hope. And I'm going to run some things down just so the board and anyone else listening online can hear, or listening after the fact, the things that we have done since I've been in the chair. Because you've heard me say many things over my 3 years here. So these are things that I have sent off to PACE that we have been doing, and it's extensive, and I want you to hear it. So McKinsey Nix, which is PACE's sexual abuse prevention consultant. We did that way back on Wednesday, September 20th, 2023. We're going to be planning another date with them in 2025. We've updated our hallway and bathroom policies district-wide, as well as designated specific bathrooms in the building for specific grade levels. Example, elementary bathrooms only, secondary bathrooms only. They're outlined in the newly updated hallway and bathroom policies document, which we've retaught again. Second time this year, we're doing it again in the fall. We built an MTSS common space process and rules expectation model in conjunction with students and staff and support our student behavior expectations. We've added a bus monitor, our largest school district bus route. District staff are out in the hallways monitoring between classroom bells. District staff are monitoring hallways during the lunch period. A new security doorbell and camera system installed at our front entrance of the district/school with security cameras in place to monitor front door activity. ODHS mandatory training put in place in conjunction with the Astoria School District on February 26, 2025, and we sent out all printed and video materials to all district staff and all school board members on Thursday, February 27th, 2025, the very next day. We have public works trainings and annual training for all staff in the fall. We've adopted a second step child protection unit plans for all preschool students through middle school with implementation already planned for 25-26 school year. We have a brand new health and sex education curriculum adoption with the Great Body Shop. This is being implemented in the 25-26 school year. New to the district, but it's a little confusing. We have a board policy on suspected child abuse reporting form, but this is a walkthrough guide of DHS, how to report to DHS for our staff. We are mailing all district volunteers the PACE abuse and sexual conduct information, including all district coaches and board members. So we're taking care of that. We've also, I'll read that in a moment. We've been keeping up to date with our board policies, following OSBA guidance when they release any new updates. We've done PACE mandatory reporting posters with updated administration contact information and posters around the building. Parent-student handbooks have been created 3 years ago. I want to remind you that were created because they didn't exist, and now they're being updated yearly. The student code of conduct was created 3 years ago, and it's being updated yearly. The teacher handbook is being created and is going to be updated to reflect current practices for the first time since 2017. The Catch My Breath preventative campaigns that we provide for the district, the Bridges and Beyond, Columbia Health Services came out and did that as well. PACE overnight student travel professional development, superintendent, athletic director, and the business manager attended that on June 18th, 2026 for overnight travel. Field trip handbook has been created and implemented in the district. Risk management trainings with PACE, one specifically sexual abuse and molestation prevention, is also on the docket for next year. And then the big one here, which we've been spending a lot of time in the district, we have purchased the full Frontline Central program, and we're working on confidentiality agreement forms that will, for the first time since I think I've ever been in the district, will be annually completed by all staff, including coaches. It's going to reference technology use and effective ways to use technology in appropriate ways. And it's also going to reference, these are board policies, also sexual harassment policies, sexual abuse, suspected sexual conduct reporting requirements. I may be missing a few more, but it will be an electronic signature that our staff, all of them, will be required to read and electronically sign that they've read those policies for the district here. And this is, I mean, this, you wouldn't have seen this stuff 3 years ago to this level. So we are making the changes, and I sent this off to Brown and Brown and Pace and let them know, and I'm going to continue to add to this and continue building a mission statement to showcase how seriously we really do take the safety of our kids in this district. So that's why I'm throwing it out there, because this is all part of the package of what we're doing with this aspect for insurance. And we are at a very, this is my opinion, we are at a very delicate time as a district, and very vulnerable. And TJ makes a good point. If districts don't have the money and something were to happen, what do you do?
The thing is, we can't count on the legislature to do anything. They're done for this year, unless she calls a special session, and it's not going to be to talk about insurance. So we're done for the year. I mean, there's no hope for this next year for them to do anything to help us.
We haven't had any claims over the 2 million, have we?
I mean,
Just the one.
I will say in the district over 2 million, yeah, we've had just one over the time that I'm aware of the districts.
Just recently, right?
In my time.
2 points.
Yeah.
2.
So I don't say they where we are, 2 million.
It's short notice to spend $180,000 that we could.
Well, what I'll say is, I mean, we'll continue our conversations. I mean, they did say, as literally an hour ago, roughly 2 hours ago, had conversations. We can ask further questions. I mean, TJ also asked questions about looking at the past practice and histories of the district. What have we seen out of that all? Yeah, other than when the numbers came through today, just my jaw was on the table. I did not anticipate that amount.
We are kind of coming late to this because of the transition between insurance companies. So we're just kind of,
Which is why they're kind of questionable.
yeah, we're coming late to the renewal.
Yep.
Because of that.
I mean, I don't want to spend the money, but I just don't see how we can gamble with our school. It's going to take one claim if something happens, and it could be nothing that we would ever anticipate happening. And we're done. We don't have the money.
Corey, may I ask a question? At our meeting with Brown & Brown last week, did he say that the average claims are between 3 and 4 million? Mm-hmm. That's what the average claim is right now. 3 and 4 million.
I believe he said usually the asking price is around 5, but when it comes in place, when they settle, it's around that amount.
So 2 million wouldn't even cover it, and we're done.
And based on the carriers willing to provide the gap coverage, we've had one offer,
Just one.
and it's limited to a choice of between 8 and 10.
And they are going to go back and see if they're trying to bargain, see if they get something more around the 5 million range. But looking at the costs, I'm just assuming we're going to reduce 40,000 from that. So you're probably talking 150, 140.
So we're going through Brown & Brown to source the gap insurance, correct?
Yes.
Is there any other, being just a separate entity, is there any other way of trying to, I guess it would be nice to see what other districts are doing, you know? I can't imagine everybody having to go to.
But I know Brown & Brown Services, I mean, they're specific to school districts, and they have, I think he said, the largest clientele of the districts, and we're not the only district they're doing this for.
Right, yeah, we are
They've done
not.
this for many districts.
Right, I'm just wondering if they're seeing any other districts finding somebody locally to provide the gap insurance without going overseas to somebody else.
My assumption is Brown & Brown, at least our discussions, again, I know we've just started with them, but if there was, got the impression that organization would have found that by now. That's why they're going overseas. And he said you said a good amount of these organizations, and I don't understand the whole concept of it yet, but majority of these organizations come from overseas. That's where they can afford to handle these type of claims, not here locally in the United States.
Well, it's in London.
Yeah, and then Grand.
I mean, if we want, I mean, I can, get some more information over Wednesday, Thursday, and then share it out with the board, and I don't know if we set a special
That's what we'd have to do.
session or something to get it, yeah.
It would have to go to.
So I'm open to that as well.
I'm assuming it could be a virtual meeting. That makes it easiest.
I think the more information we have, the better we are, because when we have to answer to the public of why we had to spend that kind of money, at least we have more information to back it.
Yeah, we're talking potential, 2 to 3 positions of employment we could have for that same amount of money. That I need to make sure that that's our best option.
So I just want to clarify, so the information we are looking at specifically is looking at our past, how many years, but going back a certain amount and looking at maybe what our average has been for spending off on claims, specifically around same items here, maybe the 10, 15 years worth or something. And that's,
I don't know how far or how hard it is to go back, I guess. I mean, saying 15 years might, I don't know. But it'd be nice to have an average at least of what we've done.
And then beyond that, then we can also talk with Jeff and just find out what are the other districts doing and be a little more specific about if there's anyone more local, which I'm fairly certain the answer is going to be no. But I'll re-articulate that question again. Is there anything else I'm missing?
But even looking backward, that's important and relevant, but our current climate is important to realize that it's just a higher incidence now. Whether they're valid or invalid, it's gonna keep happening.
Well, and look at the inflation. I mean, everything is going up and up and up, and all these claims are going to be going up and up and up and up. So you can't go back and say, oh, we only had a claim of, $100,000, where now it's probably $1 million. It's just,
Right, and in an environment where it's just more prevalent.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to go back and investigate claims that aren't valid. That's another one that's.
I do agree. Maybe we just look at the last couple of years and then find out what some of these other districts are doing would help me validate it myself, I guess.
Okay.
I mean, maybe just locally. What's Clatsop County doing, district wise? What are they doing for gap coverage? What's Seaside and Astoria doing? They're dealing with a lot more suits than we are.
I don't know that, the business managers that I've talked to in the area, they don't have the claims that we, so that they're not seeking the gap insurance because PACE is covering them, because PACE was covering, they took the SAM, insurance, the SAM coverage out of the general liability umbrella. And there was the option for 2 million, I want to say 5 million and 10 million. And so a lot of districts are still getting the 10 million, but because we've had, some occurrences, because we've had occurrences, they will not insure us at the 10 million or the 5 million. They're offering us the 2, and Jeff was trying to negotiate for 2.5.
Yep.
So the other business managers that I have talked to are not facing the same issue that we are.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm sorry, I missed that part. I thought everybody in the state was going to 2.5 something.
No.
No, it's based off of.
It's based on.
It's based on our bad driving record is what it is.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome, St. Helens.
Yes. So going forward, some suggestions, if this is okay that I'm.
No, that's fine.
So some suggestions, again, we can't know that for sure this will make a difference, but to show that, like Corey presented, all of the things that we are doing moving forward to prevent this to the best of our abilities from ever happening again, to being, to just being on top of policies, procedures, and creating a, oh my gosh, what was it called?
Mission statement.
Mission statement, a mission statement, and presenting that. And, you know, we might be able to, in a year or two, drop off from the gap insurance. So it's that PACE is a pool and they're running out of funds because of all of the claims that they've had. And that is why our insurance has been decreased. So yeah, the business managers that I've talked to are not facing the same issues we are.
Wow. Yeah, well, I don't see any other choice but having to pay for some added coverage. Unless we're gonna put a large chunk of reserve funds away for just something to cover us, you know, which would not be a smart move either way.
Where are we gonna get the reserve funds? We don't have
Yeah,
any.
yeah, I'm thinking HCP, we don't have any
We don't have any.
funds aren't being.
Well, I know, I'm not, yeah, it's not, it's gonna be dwindling, it would be rolling the dice on talking, yeah.
I mean, I think the only thing we can hope for is to go ahead and do the gap insurance right now. Do everything we can possible to make sure that we stay on the straight and narrow, that this doesn't happen again, and then be reevaluated next year on our performance, and then the year after that on our performance, to hopefully we won't be in this situation in the next couple of years. I just don't see how we can not do this with the climate that we're in right now. The whole world is this way. And I mean, it's not just us, it's just everybody's having issues.
I
Well,
do believe our representative,
Sorry.
I'm sorry, I do believe that our representative from Brown & Brown said that he or somebody from his office in the future would be happy to come speak at a board meeting, that they do this on a regular basis. Again, not in time for this, but I think to make some more, to make it clear.
Well, based on our current numbers and what we're looking at for litigation wise, what would be the recommendation, Corey, for which coverage we would need to get?
This is me personally, if we can get the 5 million coverage and get it up to 7.5, I feel pretty okay with that. It's still hard for me to swallow, but at the same time, I look at this aspect and looking at all the other districts and having communications with various groups and whatnot, knowing that, yes, it's a chunk of change, but the alternative could be an absolute nightmare for everything, and for the district in general, for everything. But financially, if we're speaking that verbiage, 180,000 versus 4 million for a year or two of extra protection. I'm leaning that direction, but that's where I'm at in my head. Just because, again, seeing everything that's out there in the districts and hearing and talking, and I mean, this is in top of the subject line with the districts for a long time now. I've been talking since the St. Helens stuff broke. This has just been all over in the news.
Well, I think too that this is such a shock right now.
Yeah.
Whereas we're all in shock. But next year we are going to know what to anticipate and hopefully work towards a lower rate. So that's all we can do.
But do you want me to, you want us as a district to continue to talk with Brown & Brown a little bit more for the next couple of days, and then find out what we have by Friday's a holiday, so.
Almost $500,000.
So sometime by Thursday, we can chat, and then if we need to set up a special session, whether it's virtual or not,
That's,
Monday or Tuesday.
that's what I would vote. That's fine.
Give everybody a little bit more time than we had today to process.
I'm thinking of both sides of it. It's like, why did you spend that kind of money on, you know, that kind of a thing, it's such short notice. But then on the other hand, it's like when that does come around and bite us, it's like, why didn't you buy the gap insurance when you guys had the opportunity to? It's like,
I mean,
it's like criticism either way,
yeah,
you know?
yeah, it's,
Choose your
But,
pains.
but what's gonna hurt the district less down the road?
I think we need to purchase it,
I do
but to get
too,
some more,
but getting
get some
more
more
information is probably wise.
because I just can't see if we don't, and having one claim could just ruin us.
Or not, another one right behind it.
Yes. So I guess table this until we hear back from you.
Yeah, I'll connect you again tomorrow.
TJ, did you catch that?
I do, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, okay, all right. Moving to 10.0 superintendent report, 10.1 property management update.
All right, so I did meet with the property management company, Northwest Property Management. This is the title here, Erwin and Brennan. The reps coming out here to the district, they did take a look at just one of our units. We talked about potentiality of moving forward. So tomorrow at 10 in the morning, I'll be meeting them in the Seaside area to discuss further. In fact, I actually have the management agreement. I'm going through this a little bit today. And so we're going to talk about what it looks like to be able to partner up with them moving forward at this point. So basically, it's just the management agreement, property information, all the fees that we've already brought forth to you so we can outline what that looks like. Also talking about maintenance and repairs and how that would work in conjunction with our department here in the district as well. So this is the step forward to move into an agreement with this organization. So that's basically what tomorrow's meeting is to shake hands and start the process to get this going.
Then when would it take effect? If everything goes according to plan or schedule, when would they actually take over?
So, well, that's where we're going to
That's what
discuss
you're
more
doing.
because
Okay.
currently we've been working on this district with our agreement, housing agreements, and they also have their housing agreement. And so we talked about their housing agreement would be provided to anybody who's in the housing, the district housing, but ours would be an amendment on top of that. So we're going to work on merging those two together a little bit tomorrow. That'll be a discussion. I don't have exact date of when they're actually take over, but my thought process is it's going to take a little bit of time to get all the details lined out here.
Okay.
All right, audience clarifications.
I have one. So for the property management, are you gonna be sending out notice to all of us, letting us know that we are gonna go
Once,
forward with
yeah,
this?
once this is official, that we'd actually shaken hands and signed documents. Yeah, I didn't want it until we've done that, but yeah, I will.
All right, 12.0 board of directors time. Start out with Mike.
Short meeting. 4-H was great. Good to see the kids get really into 4-H. It's a good program, and Julie's a really great person for that position. Amazing. But yeah, a lot of little stuff, but on that aspect, we have more information on the insurance. That's just insurance. They just need to wear masks and carry a gun wherever they go. That's the way those people are. Other than that, that's all I got.
Patty.
Same thing, well, 4-H wonderful, and I'm so glad that we are supporting them as much as we are. It's wonderful. I love to see it. The little tiny nuts, I mean, it's great. I'm thrilled with that, and I hope we keep it going. And the ag program, I'm thrilled with that too.
That's
So,
a big deal, yeah.
and insurance, totally in shock. So, anyway, that's it.
Director Smith.
To the audience and anyone listening and the public in general, I want to thank them for their trust in me and electing me to the board. I take it seriously, and it's also a great pleasure to be so involved with the community. And speaking of community, again, the 4-H folks are fabulous. The fact that they can keep these kids engaged helps us during the school year. It helps prepare these kids, which is our main focus, is get these kids ready to launch into a productive adult life, and get so thrilled with that. And thinking about the future of 4-H art here, plus the growth of our ag program, it's just a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, I agree about the 4-H. It's definitely my favorite part of being on the school board, right? Is feedback like that. One of the biggest things that I'm an advocate for, and everybody probably knows this by now, but sports, right? Sports and 4-H programs specifically just teaches people to be competitive at a young age, right? And then we turn people out into a very, very competitive world, right? So I think people that take part in programs like 4-H and sports in particular are definitely more successful down the road. So, Corey, have fun on vacation. You deserve it. So have a great time. And then when does the new principal start? When do we get to meet him?
July, his contract starts now, but his number of days is 230. He will start July 24th.
July 24th.
On Thursday, yeah. He's already been in a few times already. We've had some conversations and shown around with us.
Good.
So will there be anybody here when you're gone?
Mike Scott is
Mike
going to
will
be
be
coming in.
Director Ecox.
You guys nailed everything I wanted to go over. I wish I could have been there with the 4-H kids tonight. I know that my kids have been involved with that through most of their lives, and it's a huge deal for the leaders on that group, and the Cano family has always been huge. So yeah, insurance stuff, I don't know. I feel like we're in a rock and a hard place, but that's where we're at, and we got to figure out how to get better, and hopefully they can give us a better game plan of hit these marks, and we can move forward on a better path. Yeah, thanks everybody for electing me. I'm sorry I couldn't be there tonight. This week's been a little hectic, and I just got home, so we'll see you guys all shortly. Thanks.
Thank you. 13.0 items, excuse me, items for next commission. One, policy JHCCA. Tuberculosis head lice, third reading.
Could go to a fourth or fifth.
He said no board policies for July, so I didn't give you.
I take board policies over insurance conversations, so.
Yes, yeah, I think everybody here would. 13.2 building use fee schedule. And 13.3 OSEA contract, if needed. So be to add OSEA to 2025, 2027. So leads us to 14.0.
Wait,
Go ahead, Pat.
building use fees, do we actually charge to use our building? Oh, so I was gonna say, I
You
never,
That's
I
why
mean,
it's
we
there.
can, but
You can, yeah.
we don't typically.
It also,
Okay.
Technically, in the past, it's not typically.
if they're accused using it, what it's for. If it's for personal gain.
But
they usually will
we'll
bill.
put it on there because I want to visit that conversation.
14.0, motion to adjourn.
I'll make motion to adjourn. I don't know what time it is.
7:25.
7:25.
So second. And a second by Director Cox to adjourn at 7:25. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.